A gentle, warm, and expressive voice, small love pulls the whole world. This opening scene establishes the deep, unbreakable bond between parent and child, creating a heartwarming portrait of love and teamwork that serves as the story's emotional foundation. The world was bathed in gold. Sunlight, thick and warm like honey, poured over the rolling green hills and whispered through the tall stalks of corn that lined the country lane. Upon this path, a joyful rhythm played out, a gentle, rhythmic creak of wood on packed earth. At the front of a small hand-painted cart, the little kitten Pip leaned into his task. His small ginger body was taut with effort, tiny paws digging into the dirt road for purchase. Yet his chest was puffed out with an undeniable pride, and a look of joyful, focused determination was etched onto his face. From his low vantage point, the world seemed vast and full of purpose. Seated comfortably within the cart was Marmalade, the sturdy ginger parent, a picture of absolute serenity and trust. A gentle, proud smile graced their features as their warm green eyes, haloed by the backlighting sun, watched their little one work. Their body was relaxed, a quiet testament to the unbreakable bond they shared. They were a single unit, moving through a world that seemed made just for them. The air itself was full of their contentment, thick with the sweet scent of honeysuckle and the rich smell of damp earth after a morning watering. The path ahead stretched onward, a ribbon of brown winding through a sea of green. Around them, the world was alive with the distant, cheerful chirping of birds and the soft rustle of leaves in the gentle breeze. Golden dust motes, kicked up by the cart's wobbly wheels, danced in the sunbeams that sliced through the cornstalks, creating a dream-like haze. It was a perfect, peaceful journey. For a moment, Pip glanced back, and his eyes met Marmalade's. No words were needed. In that shared look, there was a universe of love, of gratitude, of a partnership built on a foundation as solid as the earth beneath them. This was their life, a simple and beautiful cycle of shared effort and quiet joy. It was a perfect moment in time, a precious memory being forged, a testament. Thank you for watching this program. If you find it interesting, don't forget to subscribe. On the lonely road, a small heart dragged all life. This chapter marks the story's critical conflict, shattering the idyllic peace and thrusting the characters into a heart-wrenching trial. The atmosphere shifts from warmth to dread, initiating a poignant role reversal and setting the stage for a powerful tale of devotion and resilience. Please listen to the Chapter 2, A Sudden Stillness, when the world holds its breath. The sunbeam that sliced through the window should have been warm, a familiar stripe of gold on the wooden floor where dust motes danced in lazy celebration of the morning. But today, it felt cold, stark. It illuminated a profound stillness in the cottage, an unnerving quiet that had swallowed the familiar, comforting sounds of home. The gentle purr, the soft thud of paws on wood, all gone, replaced by a silence that felt heavy, like a held breath. In the handcrafted bed, beneath a colorful patchwork quilt that now seemed to mock the room's cheerlessness, Marmalade lay unnaturally still. The vibrant ginger fur, usually so full of life, looked dull and flat. A subtle, unending shiver racked their sturdy frame, a silent tremor that spoke of a deep internal cold. Their large green eyes, normally sparkling with affection and wisdom, were clouded and half-closed, lost in a feverish haze. Their breathing was a faint, labored whisper, a fragile sound in the vast, oppressive silence. Across the room, Pip stood frozen, a tiny figure dwarfed by the suddenly immense space. The kitten's wide eyes were fixed on the bed, and a cold, creeping fear tightened its grip around their little chest. This was their parent, their rock, the source of all safety and warmth. To see them so fragile, so utterly vulnerable, felt like the world itself was tilting off its axis. For a long moment, Pip did nothing, paralyzed by the terrifying realization that love, no matter how deep, could not simply wish this sickness away. Then something shifted. The wide, fearful eyes narrowed with a flicker of something new. Fear gave way to a steely resolve, a powerful determination that seemed far too large for their small frame. Pip's body tensed, and with a sharp, decisive nod to no one, they turned and scurried from the room. A moment later, they returned, muscles straining to drag the small, hand-painted wooden cart across the floorboards. Its cheerful colors seemed out of place in the grim atmosphere. With a tenderness that belied the urgency of the moment, Pip carefully nudged the quilt aside and gently helped the weak Marmalade into the small cart. It was a monumental effort, a slow, careful dance of pushing and pulling until Marmalade was settled inside, a pale, weakened figure curled against the painted wood. Outside, the crisp autumn air felt sharp. Leaning forward, every muscle in their small bodies straining, Pip pulled the cart onto the packed dirt road. Each turn of the wooden wheels cried out with a loud, rhythmic creak, creak. The sound cut through the countryside quiet like an alarm, a lonely, desperate beat marking their progress. The long road stretched out before them, an empty ribbon winding through fields of gold and red. Pip's gaze was fixed on the horizon, jaw set, a tiny hero on a monumental quest, refusing to look back at the precious cargo they were pulling towards a distant, unknown hope. Thank you for watching this program. If you find it interesting, don't forget to subscribe. In the empty house, a small heart burns love. This chapter captures the story's rising action, showcasing Pip's profound devotion and resilience as they single-handedly take on adult responsibilities out of love for their ailing parent. The mood is a poignant mix of melancholy and heartwarming determination, emphasizing the core theme that love is an action. Please listen to the Chapter 3, A Kitten's Kitchen, A Labor of Love. With their parent, Marmalade, resting in the distant hospital, the family cottage fell into a profound silence. The familiar sounds of shared life, the gentle humming, the creak of a favorite rocking chair were gone, replaced by an emptiness that felt vast and cold. It was in this quiet that Pip, small but filled with a purpose far beyond their years, faced the daunting task of running the household alone. The kitchen, once a place of shared laughter and warmth, now became Pip's sanctuary of devotion. The kitten dragged a wobbly wooden stool across the floor, the scraping sound loud in the stillness, and positioned it before the great expanse of the countertop. Hopping up, Pip tied a simple, oversized canvas apron around their small frame. From this perch, the world seemed immense, the challenge monumental. Pip's attention focused on the task at hand, preparing a nourishing soup. Their tiny paws gripped a kitchen knife that looked heavy and unwieldy, its steel handle cold against their fur. With a deep breath and a furrowed brow of intense concentration, Pip began to chop. A rhythmic, heavy thump, thump, thump echoed through the room, a steady heartbeat of determination. Bright orange carrots and crisp green celery fell onto the worn cutting board, a splash of vibrant color in the muted light. Each movement was careful, deliberate, a testament not to skill, but to an unwavering love. The chopped vegetables were carefully slid into a large pot on the stove. With a soft sizzle, a fragrant cloud of steam rose, catching a lonely sunbeam that cut through the window and illuminating a dance of floating dust motes. Standing on tiptoes, Pip stirred the simmering broth, the spoon clinking gently against the ceramic. The rich, savory aroma began to push back against the silence, filling the cottage with a fragrant promise of healing and hope. The warm glow from the stove cast a small circle of light around the kitten, a single point of warmth and life in the quiet, shadowy home, a beacon of resilience. Thank you for watching this program. If you find it interesting, don't forget to subscribe. Before the rage of the river, the courage was challenged. This is the story's climax, where heroic resilience and devotion are tested against the fury of nature. Through a perilous crisis, a family bond is not just restored, but forged anew in courage, expanding to welcome a new member. Please listen to the Chapter 4, The River's Fury and a Bond Forged in Courage. Marmalade was slowly, steadily regaining the quiet strength that defined them, each day a small victory over the illness that had stolen their spark. But as life returned to the parent cat, a fury was unleashed upon the land. A fierce storm rolled through the countryside without warning, transforming the gentle, meandering river into a turbulent, roaring beast. The sky, a canvas of bruised purple and angry gray, wept sheets of rain that lashed against the cottage windows, turning their peaceful world into a blur of chaos and noise. Just as the storm's violent heart began to move on, leaving a heavy, tense quiet in its wake, a faint but frantic cry for help sliced through the sound of the rushing water. Drawn by the sound, Marmalade and Pip arrived at the riverbank to a terrifying sight. The river was a churning, muddy torrent, a monster of brown water and white foam, littered with the debris of the storm. In its grip, a small black cat, no bigger than a kitten, clung desperately to a jagged, splintered log. The log spun and bucked like a wild thing, constantly threatening to plunge its terrified passenger into the relentless current. The kitten's fur was plastered to its shivering frame, its wide eyes a reflection of pure panic. A fire ignited in Marmalade's chest, a deep, primal instinct of protection that burned away any lingering trace of weakness. The memory of their own fragility vanished, replaced by an overwhelming, heroic resolve. Without a moment's hesitation, the parent cat launched forward, paws sinking into the slick, deep mud before plunging into the churning, icy water. The shock of the cold was a physical blow, but Marmalade pushed through it, fighting the current with powerful, determined strokes. The river felt like a solid, moving wall, pushing back with immense force. The roar was deafening, a constant, thunderous assault that drowned out all other sound. On the bank, Pip's small heart hammered against their ribs. Terror for their parent warred with the urgent need to act. Their shared bond, a silent language between them, guided their movements in perfect instinctive synchrony. Pip scrambled to the ancient, sturdy oak tree that stood guard over the riverbank, its roots a bulwark against the flood. With frantic paws, Pip worked at the knot holding their favorite swing rope. The rope came free. Digging their heels deep into the slick, sucking mud to anchor themselves, Pip secured. Facing the raging river, the kitten gathered every ounce of their small but mighty strength, swung the heavy rope in a desperate, hopeful arc, and hurled it with a cry that was both a prayer and a command. The rope sailed through the misty air, a lifeline arcing over the chaos. It slapped the water just within Marmalade's reach. With a final heroic surge of adrenaline-fueled effort, Marmalade's paw shot out, claws extending to snag the life-saving rope. Fighting the current's pull, the parent cat battled their way toward the splintered log. With gentle but firm movements, Marmalade secured the rope around the trembling body of the little black cat, who they would soon know as Sable. On the shore, Pip leaned back, a small anchor against an immense force. Every muscle in their body screamed in protest, their face a mask of fierce concentration and love. The kitten pulled with a strength they never knew they possessed, a strength born of pure devotion, slowly but surely dragging their parent and the stranger back from the river's greedy grasp. They collapsed together on the muddy bank, a tangled heap of soaked fur and heaving chests, water streaming from their coats to pool in the mud around them. They lay there, gasping, the sound of their frantic breaths the only sound in a world gone suddenly quiet. As their breathing steadied, a miracle occurred in the sky. A single, brilliant ray of sunlight broke through the heavy, dark clouds, illuminating the exhausted trio. Thank you for watching this program. If you find it interesting, don't forget to subscribe. The sweetness of the family is filled in each jar of jam. This heartwarming chapter showcases the story's falling action, where the themes of friendship, community, and the value of hard work are brought to life. The narrative follows the trio's joyful and collaborative effort to make and sell jam, providing a sweet and satisfying celebration of their new family unit. Please listen to the Chapter 5, A Symphony of Sweetness. Friendship and shared effort blossom after the storm, culminating in the sweet taste of success. The memory of the churning river was beginning to fade, replaced by the warm, steady rhythm of a new life. With Sable now a cherished part of their family, their small cottage, once quiet with worry, now hummed with a joyful energy. Their duo had become a trio, and their world felt brighter and fuller. Their first shared venture began on a sun-drenched afternoon in a thicket brimming with wild blueberries. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, creating a moving mosaic of light and shadow on the forest floor. Marmalade moved with a practiced ease, a comforting presence among the bushes. Pip, ever diligent, picked each berry with intense concentration, placing them gently into a wicker basket as if they were precious jewels. Sable, brimming with a newfound sense of belonging, darted between them, their sleek black fur a stark contrast to the greenery. They worked in a happy, unspoken rhythm, the soft plink of berries landing in baskets, the distant hum of bees, and an occasional shared smile creating a simple, perfect harmony. Back in their cozy kitchen, the real symphony began. The room, bathed in the golden light streaming through the window, became a vibrant hub of activity. A large copper pot sat on the stove, and soon the deep purple-blue berries were bubbling inside, releasing a sweet, fragrant steam that filled every corner of the house. The scent was a promise of warmth and sweetness. Marmalade stood stirring with a large wooden spoon, their movements steady and patient. Pip, perched on a wooden stool, carefully tipped sugar into the pot, their little face a mask of focus. Sable had the most meticulous job, applying handwritten labels to a row of clean, glistening glass jars. Each label was placed with the utmost care, a testament to their shared pride. The kitchen was a whirl of focused energy, steam rising, spoons clinking, and the low, happy bubbling of the jam providing a constant, comforting soundtrack. The next morning, they set up their stall at the local market. It was a humble affair, a small hand-painted wooden table. He boomed. The clink of the first coins dropping into their small pouch was the sweetest sound they had ever heard. It wasn't just money, it was a triumph. A shared look passed between the three of them, a look of pure, unadulterated joy and success. They had faced a storm together, and now, together, they were enjoying the sweet rewards of their resilience and their unbreakable bond. Thank you for watching this program. If you find it interesting, don't forget to subscribe so that I have the motivation to continue. In that arms, every thunderstorm has disappeared. This scene is the story's heartwarming resolution, bringing the narrative full circle to its core themes of family devotion and resilience. It uses a serene, intimate moment to convey the profound comfort and unbreakable bond between parent and child, ending the story on a note of pure, satisfying love. Chapter 6. The Bedtime Story. A portrait of unconditional love. After all the storms they had weathered together, a profound quiet had settled over their small cottage, a peace earned through hardship and devotion. In the soft darkness of the bedroom, a single lamp cast a warm, golden circle of light, illuminating a scene of perfect tranquility. There, propped against the headboard, sat Marmalade, their sturdy form once again a bastion of comfort and strength. In their paws, they held a well-loved storybook, its corners softened and its pages filled with colorful illustrations. The only sounds were the gentle, rumbling murmur of Marmalade's voice as they read, the words a soft melody of love, and the delicate rustle of a page being turned. Nestled against their parents' warm side, little Pip was losing the battle against sleep. Their large eyes, usually so bright with curiosity, grew heavy, blinking slowly, each blink lasting longer than the one before. The world outside this golden circle of light faded away, replaced by the overwhelming feeling of safety and love. With a final soft sigh, Pip's head rested completely on Marmalade's side. Their small body relaxed, rising and falling with the gentle rhythm of their parents' breathing. Marmalade paused their reading, their gaze softening as they looked down at the trusting, sleeping kitten. The lamplight caught the gentle curve of their smile. This was more than the end of a day. It was the quiet, heartfelt culmination of their entire journey. It was a perfect, serene portrait of devotion, resilience, and the unbreakable, loving bond of family, now stronger and deeper than ever before. Thank you for watching this program. If you find it interesting, don't forget to subscribe so that I have the motivation to continue.